Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Brad from Being Chill. Today's video is going to talk about the iPad Pro and whether or not you should buy it. If you're buying it because you think it's going to make you a great artist, I'll tell you right now, you don't even have to watch the rest of this video. It won't. If you're already a great artist, then there's a chance that it will help. However, don't use the iPad Pro as an excuse to become a better artist, because frankly, it just won't work. You have to put in the time and the effort. Downloading Procreate on your iPad is not going to magically make you a better artist overnight. Photoshop, Premiere Pro, all the things that you can do on the iPad Pro, they're much better on a laptop. There are nice things that you can do that may be quicker to use with the Apple Pencil, that may be faster and more accurate than using it on a computer. But depending on how in-depth and how difficult these projects are that you're going to be doing, you're really probably going to be better off using a laptop. The iPad Pro has the same processor as an iPhone 11. It's not going to be anywhere near as powerful as a computer. Any type of video editing, I would just not even consider doing it on an iPad Pro. You're going to want to have a laptop for that. Photo editing, if you're just doing touch-ups and things, I would say you'll probably be alright using an iPad Pro just for that, especially if you have a more mobile workflow. For example, if you're a photographer and you're out there taking pictures and you want to edit them and put them on a flash drive right there and give them to your clients real quickly, yeah, that could be possible, and it might increase your workflow. And really, when it comes down to the iPad, when you're spending so much money on any piece of technology, really, you want to consider the time value of money and how much your time is worth and how much money, aka time, this new piece of technology is going to be saving you. If you decide and you do the math and you realize it's really not going to add that much value, it's not really a necessity product like you may have convinced yourself it is, it's a want product. So I'll tell you, for example, I bought an iPad Pro. I still have it. The return period is almost up, so I'm still thinking about getting rid of it, but I bought it to use Procreate. I had this fallacy in my head that if I bought it and I downloaded Procreate, I would magically become a better artist and I would be able to make all the graphics and things for my software projects and all the graphics for my YouTube channels, and I could magically draw everything I had in my head, and it would for some reason turn out better than if I were to just draw it out on a piece of paper. So I'm here to tell you that's not true. I'm also here to tell you that there are benefits to using a drawing tablet. However, I'm also here to tell you that those benefits might not be worth the $1,000 price tag of the iPad Pro. If you're just getting started and you want to use a hobby, I would recommend getting the iPad, the original one, or the iPad Air, the cheaper models, instead of getting the iPad Pro. But if you really want the iPad Pro, the Apple Pencil 2 is nice. However, I don't think the differences are enough to justify the price tag between the Apple Pencil 1 and the Apple Pencil 2. They're just, too similar. There's really not much of an improvement there, in my opinion. The tech specs don't really matter in the real world because the software is not really taking full advantage of it, and they can boast about all these improvements, but in reality, the user is probably not going to notice much of an improvement when using the device themselves. So, if you're considering buying an iPad Pro to draw, I would very heavily recommend that instead you buy a iPad Air or another cheaper iPad. The reason I'm not recommending an Android tablet is because Procreate really does have a good brand, and they don't really have any similar apps on Android that can compete with the levels of customization and tools that you can find inside of Procreate. And that, I think, justifies some of the cost if you're using this primarily as a drawing tablet. Now, it is cool to be able to bring it with you and be able to whip it out and draw and have all these different mediums available, like a pen, a paintbrush, any type of drawing canvas that you can imagine, having it right there in your backpack at all times and being able to pull it out without making a big mess is, very nice and very futuristic almost, how technology is changing the way art is done. Also, as a software engineer, a lot of the art that I need, if somebody were to draw it on paper and then convert it digitally to a format that I could use in my projects, it would probably not look as good as digital art would, and that's one of the reasons why I've always been interested in digital art, and I think a lot of people are too. So, just learning digital art is not going to be dependent on the hardware. You're going to have to practice. You're going to have to start with some stick figures. You're going to have to watch some YouTube videos. You're going to have to practice. You're going to have to draw every day, and then you'll eventually get better. No matter what piece of tech you buy, whether it's an iPad Pro or a Wacom tablet, it's not going to make you a great artist overnight. And I think a lot of videos online will tell you that. The marketing on these iPad Pros is targeted towards people that want to do something but never do it. And really, only a small percentage of professionals probably use these products to the fullest extent. And you can see these products are sold out, especially right now during the pandemic. People are buying them up. I'd say most people probably just check their email with it, and that's it. So no matter what you've convinced yourself that you're going to do when you buy it, once you spend the money, if you do, you have to make yourself practice every day. And that goes for anything, whether it's making YouTube videos, try to make a video every day. If it's painting, try to make a painting every day, whatever. Because you will see improvement and you will want to keep going. So that's my recommendation. Now, there are other things you can do with the iPad Pro. The apps, in my opinion, all the Adobe Suite stuff is really lackluster on the mobile platforms, iPad OS, iOS, whatever. You're going to have a much better experience using those on your laptop. Apps and games. Yeah, you could play games. I know a really popular option. A lot of people like to game stream their computer to their iPad, which is a pretty viable option if you have a controller that can connect to it and you have good internet in your house. That's one good use case. Productivity tools, taking notes, that doesn't really differentiate the iPad Pro from any other iPad. You can do that on a lot of different tablets. If you just want to take notes, it's not really a big deal. One thing I will say about the iPad Pro right off the bat is it's very large. I have this composition notebook case on it, you can see, because this thing is so big. I could definitely see myself dropping it at some point in the future. So I didn't even want to use it before I put a case on it because I was so scared I was going to drop it. This 13-inch model is absolutely massive. It's almost the size of my laptop, and it is kind of cumbersome to use something like this so big all the time. So that's another thing. It may seem like you'd want to get the bigger option, but if you have any idea of like wanting to take this out somewhere, you got to keep in mind that it is very big, and even the 11-inch model is pretty big. And that's something that the older iPad and iPad Air models do offer, is a more tablet-like form factor that is more portable. And for most people, I'd say that this is going to be too big to like efficiently use in like a car, on the subway, you're out at a park bench, whatever. This is the type of tablet that you're going to want to put on your desk and use, and even holding it while you're in bed and stuff is just going to be too big. So that's just my opinion. You guys might have different opinions. There are some use cases where a bigger tablet is nice, but when you already have a 13 or 15 or 16-inch MacBook, in my opinion, you don't need a 13-inch tablet really, because you're getting into computer territory, but you're lacking a lot of the features that you get on your computer. And you're even entering computer price point territory with these iPad Pros. I mean, $1,000 for these, and they're so limited. Apple has really, in my opinion, kind of shot themselves in the foot here, because they're depending on their developers, like third-party developers, to make apps like Procreate that make this iPad great and make people want to buy it. But right now there's not very many of those out there, and Apple hasn't really stepped up to the ballpark and made some of these apps that can run in desktop grade quality on these machines. So in the future we might see it. We can kind of see that they are stepping towards that now. They are releasing the Magic Keyboard or whatever that turns the iPad into more of a laptop. So that's not really for me, but it might be for some people. But it's $350, in addition to $130 for the Apple Pencil. Most people can buy a very good MacBook Pro for that price. So this is a very niche device. Not many people I could see ever using it properly. I mean, there's just always a better alternative, I feel like. So that's my opinion. You might have a different opinion. I appreciate you watching this video. Once again, this is Brad from Being Chill. Thanks for checking out my channel. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you subscribe, I will make more content in the future, I promise. So thank you guys for checking out my channel, and I appreciate all the support I've already gotten. It means a lot. I'll see you guys later. Peace.